Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Here I will discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, then I'll do a quick review of the day's aspects before I play another card that may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Seven of Wands. And Seven of Wands relates directly to the third decan, or the last 10 days of the sun's transit through the land of Leo. Leo is a fire sign. Wands and Tarot are fire. And fire element symbolism has to do with drive, spark, initiative, motivation, excitement, enthusiasm, and also with fire comes some restlessness, some impatience, some irascibility. I like to use the imp words: impatient, impudent, impartial, but also impetuous, right? So those are all fire sign words that help us understand what fire element symbolism is about. Fire, Seven of Wands here, so we have a situation here where a person has gained some prominence. You see that they have the higher ground. And in our last card, the Six of Wands, we had gained that higher ground by, having a big achievement to celebrate. Okay, so once you're done celebrating the achievement, which, I did let you know is a temporary thing, after people are done celebrating you, other people are going to come along to compete, right? To challenge your place of prominence in some way by thinking that they can do it better, by thinking that they have a better idea, by thinking that they can build on the thing that you did. And, it's all well and good for other people to do what they're going to do. But I have to ask the question, how long are you going to stand here and sort of defend the prominence that you have gained? Sometimes we're put in a position where we have no choice but to defend ourselves if we want to get moving forward. But forward is the direction for fire. Okay, so much like the Five of Wands, which we had before the Six, we don't necessarily want to let ourselves get slowed down by fighting or by having to try to defend the prominence that we have gained. And I say prominence of just like the higher ground that we have gained. We do want to be able to get moving forward from there. And with all of that said, I'm going to shuffle some cards while I remind myself and the cards that the sun is in Leo. Sun in Leo has been this time, we're entering the last week now, the sun's transit in Leo. It's been this time where, we really assert ourselves in terms of our passion and our glory and our beauty. We want to be noticed. We want to be appreciated. We also want to, sort of dramatize and demonstrate our appreciation for the people around us as well. And when Venus is in Leo, that dramatic flair, that desire to demonstrate our affection for somebody that we feel close to or that we desire comes out. Okay, so we just want to be careful. Like grand displays of affection are all well and good, but we want to be careful to make sure that those displays of affection are, they reflect exactly how we feel. They don't go overboard to give somebody the wrong impression. And also that we don't get too extravagant in our spending and our desire to show off for somebody that we like, love, and can't get enough of, so that we don't overstate our resources and we also don't over sort of stretch our resources, right? And then on the moon side, we have the waning gibbous moon here. It is in Aries. And what is that like when the moon has started to wane? We're past the full moon, we're past the culmination, right? But Aries is a beginning, and it's a like a full speed ahead fire sign, cardinal fire. It initiates passion projects. It initiates action. So at this time, like yesterday, what I did was I cleaned out my storage and I put a bunch of stuff up for sale, and I completely rearranged my workspace. all the stuff that I need to get rid of, it is going in a pile by the door, so that when we get to that third quarter moon and it's time to actually actively release things, I will be ready to go. So we're sort of active in the planning mode of getting rid of stuff and sort of reworking our creative space, so that when we get to that new moon, we have a fresh slate to from which to create. And then on the moon side of the page today, we have one current aspect today, and that is Moon conjunct Jupiter. It comes in pretty early in the morning, around 5:49. And this is a generous and optimistic vibe. We feel open, we feel our growth and our personal expansion, we feel our own generosity, and we want to nurture the growth and expansion of people around us, so we can be really good company at this time. It can be a little intense, but it's a good time to spend with people that you trust and whose growth you value. And then on the sun side of the page, we have a whole bunch of ongoing stuff, to include our actively retrograde planets at this time. So this is kind of a long list of retrograde planets. This would be our indicator that we are in retrograde season, and this list is going to get longer before it gets shorter again. So retrograde season is a time when, you know, these planets that are in all of our charts and do have an influence on all of us appear to be going backwards along their regular trajectory. And that's a trick, that's an illusion based on the fact that we are on one planet going around the sun, watching other planets go around the sun. And, you know, when we notice that trick or illusion, it has an effect on how we personally notice the effects of that planet in our lives. So Pluto is a great example here. Pluto's Pluto direct in Capricorn has been bringing about deep and total changes to in culture, to our traditions and institutions. You know, you can look around and see that, you know, nothing is as it was 25 years ago. Almost nothing is as it was 25 years ago, especially if it was something that you thought of it as, you know, as monumental and unchanging within culture. And, you know, when Pluto goes retrograde, that deep and total changes, that transformational vibe sort of gets pointed to our inner lives, to our inner perception of ourselves and the changes that we are going through. So we're able more to sort of notice what changes we're going through, or if we can't really notice them because Pluto does kind of hide things from us a little bit, we can feel that we are going through these inner changes and transformations. And so we get to work with Pluto at this time and say, yes, transformation is what I'm about, because obviously I can't avoid it. So what can I do to step forward into these transformations in a more positive way for myself? And, you know, just go down the line, you know, Neptune retrograde, where normally we just entertain fantasies and sometimes get lost in our dreams a little bit, we get intuitive clarity at this time. Saturn retrograde asks us to check on our commitments, our ability to focus on those things that we rely on for support and validation. Jupiter retrograde, you know, usually Jupiter is bringing sustenance and expansion to our efforts in our outer life, and right now it's bringing sustenance and expansion to our efforts in our inner life, so which is really helpful at this time because of the retrograde season really bringing us through some deep changes and transformations. And then Chiron is here asking us to think about all the ways in which we built up defenses and walls to keep ourselves from getting hurt again, especially in a social situation. And, you know, this is a time to be letting go of those things. If they no longer work for us, we can start to tear down those old defenses because they're probably starting to get in our way. So with all of that said, that's our retrogrades. And I meant to go over them more briefly than that, and probably will start to go over them more briefly than that in the near future. Venus is opposite to Pluto right now, and this is the green-eyed monster, and it's just through today. So hopefully, you know, you've taken advantage of this opportunity to notice that when jealousy or envy comes up for you, you know, when you concern yourself about what other people have that makes them happy and how much happier you would be if you had it. Hopefully you've taken this opportunity to see what your jealousy or your envy is showing you in terms of what it is that you would like to have for yourself. And also another opportunity here to remember to school ourselves to be happy for others when they get what they need. Mars is trine to Pluto at this time. We are ambitious and goal-oriented. We are practically blessed if we just go even in conscious pursuit of transformation. If there's some transformation you'd really like to see for yourself, if there's some big change, deep and total change you'd really like to see for yourself, now through the 28th is a good time to be focusing on that, to be taking action on those endings and beginnings that you desire for yourself. Mars is also sextile to Neptune, okay? So we can fantasize a little bit. We're pretty bold and courageous. We're sensual, and we're willing to connect with others. And then Mars is also square to Saturn. So it's a Mars kind of day, friends. Mars rules Aries, very active vibe, right? Mars is square to Saturn, though, says, hey, square peg, round hole, don't do it, all right? If you are trying too hard to connect with someone, if you are trying too hard to reach that ambitious goal, you are probably just beating your head against a wall. And if you get that sense that you're beating your head against the wall and things are not unfolding easily for you, then probably it's a good time to think about sort of taking a break and reapproaching these goals and ambitions in another way, with another attitude, because we can be active and assertive without being impatient and angry about it. And if you're bringing impatience and anger to the work that you're trying to do here, probably it is going to back up on you and go slowly. Sun is in opposition to Saturn right now. This can be a really low feeling. It can be depressing. It can just feel restrictive, like something has come down on you, especially in the outer life. And, in that case, maybe we want to take a break. So again, don't try too hard. This is another thing saying, don't try too hard. When you push too hard and you get a lot of pushback, it's okay to take a break. Ask for some help. Try another approach, okay? And then Sun is trine to Chiron here. We get a little break from the routine. We get to be ourselves a little bit more, okay? The more genuinely and authentically we can bring ourselves, especially to our work and social situations at this time, the more we are blessed with, acceptance and positive regard in that arena. And Mercury is quincunx to Chiron. If you hesitate to express yourself more fully, even though Sun trine Chiron should be all you need to be able to feel like you can be yourself. If you still hesitate, if you still have a little anxiety about really being yourself in those spheres, it's okay to take your time and do the best you can. And a couple of things that are sort of mentioned here almost as afterthoughts. North Node is conjunct to Uranus through today. This has represented an intensification of the shifting availability of resources. And Uranus remains in Taurus. Both Uranus and North Node remain in Taurus, but Uranus is going to move on ahead of this conjunct now. So we're still going to have that shifting availability of resources from like 2016 to 2019 to 2026, something like that is when Uranus is in Taurus. That's the shifting availability of resources. But perhaps without having that conjunct to the North Node, that's still going to be our focus, but it's not going to be such an intense issue for us where it's sort of taking up all of our focus. Like, how am I going to get exactly the things that I need and desire at this time, right? And then also Sun is square to Uranus at this time, and therefore square to this conjunct. And Sun in the square position says, we have this sort of sense of impending change, this sort of exciting feeling like something is about to give. And I really hope that something is about to give in a really positive way for us in terms of our shifting availability of resources. And I see the Sun going quincunx to Neptune here later this week and saying, yes, we have a turning point coming up, we have a pivot coming up, and we'll be able to sort of get on with this stuff in perhaps a new and different way. creative way, a more connected way. Okay, and with all of that said, I'm gonna throw this card. We have the Nine of Pentacles today. Oh, I love the Nine of Pentacles, friends. So first of all, what we have is we have some fire and some earth, okay? And, you know, this is an all fire sign kind of day. We've got, you know, we've got Mars over here in the ongoing column doing lots of stuff. Mars rules Aries, and Aries is in charge of the moon right now. So, you know, we feel very active. And, you know, Nine of Pentacles is a position that we get ourselves into when we have been very active in the culmination, in the creation of a personal space where we can grow our personal resources. Okay, so Pentacles are about your physical resources, it's about your health, your wealth, and your finances. And this is a point where, you know, we've put in a lot of work, and now we can sort of relax a little and enjoy the fruits of our labor. Look at all that fruit. She's got carrots and tomatoes and actual coins growing on the vine, and they're ready to go. It's time to go ahead and pick them and enjoy them. So, you know, this is a situation we could be in for ourselves very soon, being the ambitious and goal-oriented people we are, being people who can see very well what it is that, you know, perhaps other people have that we would like to have as well. You know, this sensual and willing to connect is also part of, you know, the nurturing and the growing of, you know, a garden or a personal set of resources like this. This person is almost always depicted, you know, with a bird, either on their hat or on their shoulder, you know, and this sort of reflects being in touch with our own natural impulses, because when we are in touch with our own natural impulses, it is easier for us to connect with the ability to grow our resources. And also, you know, sometimes this takes hard work and sometimes it takes less hard work. Sometimes a garden, sometimes growing your own set of natural resources, you know, takes more observation, takes more watching and waiting than it takes you know, actual physical work. And then other times you're out there sort of digging in the soil and, you know, sweating away, plucking out weeds and, you know, getting things moved around so that everything has the sunlight and the water that it needs. So right now we are in a mode of not working too hard. Okay, you should be able to enjoy the fruits of this labor, and not have to struggle for it at all. But if you find yourself feeling like you're working really hard, again, it's okay to take a break. All right, don't let the excitement about this abundance that you have cultivated become a burden to you. Okay. And taken together with the Seven of Wands, you know, I see defense, and then I see a sort of culmination or a near culmination. And really, the Nine of Pentacles can represent sort of the prominence you have gained here. The Nine of Pentacles is sort of it's a high point. It is not the ultimate expression of material comfort, but it is sort of the penultimate expression of material comfort in the world. And, you know, you go out and you make a grand achievement, you work hard, you put a lot of drive and spirit into it. And so you gain this physical resource, right? You gain this capital because of the work that you put in. And, you know, you don't want other people to come in here and pick your fruits and enjoy them, right? You know, you might be willing to share if somebody asks nicely, but you definitely, if people are going to come after you and compete with you for your resources, probably are going to be put in a kind of defensive position. So one thing about, I want to say about cultivating your own set of resources is to keep them secure, you know, keep them sort of behind a high wall, keep them in a private place, keep them in a place where people, you know, wouldn't just be able to find you or, you know, enter that area without your express permission, right? This is how we defend a garden or our own personal set of resources, is we put security around them, right? And being mindful of that security, then we're in a position where we can enjoy those fruits rather than defending them. Okay, friends, I think that's all I have to say about it today. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence here. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.